We went to Reddit and we found a few stories from other new moms.
Yay! New mom stuff.
So we're here to answer those questions.
Parent bedtimes, how has it changed? According to the internet, you're doing it all wrong.
Vacations are depressing as a new mom.
Why is social media so vile?
Motherhood can be really isolating.
I just really don't want to take care of him.
Girl.
Being alone with a baby is brutal.
Not once has my family stepped up to try to help me.
The only thing I could think about for the first couple of days was this overwhelming sense of responsibility. I didn't want my baby to feel the way I'm feeling.
Yep.
As months go by, you fall in love with your baby. And they're so goddamn cute. Don't build up on your guilt. Because it's just gonna make it worse.
I'm gonna smack this into y'all's heads. Not everything we see on social media is real. There's nothing wrong with having a mom identity.
That was nice. Super good.
That was good.
Let's just dive in. Hello! And welcome to this episode of BTW Bellabeat Talks Wellness Podcast.
Ooh, we really harmonized really well just then. That was nice.
Super good.
That was good.
Today we'll be talking about new mom stuff.
Yay! New mom stuff. But before we dive into that, we want to introduce ourselves, of course.
Hello, my name is Urška and I'm the co-founder of Bellabeat, the beautiful company behind this podcast, and also a new mom.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I am Melanie. I am the content director of Bellabeat Coach and Period Diary, and I am not a mom. Yay! So I will just be speaking, but two of my best friends have two children, and so I will be speaking on behalf of experiences that I've heard from them and other new moms that I know, because I love new moms. I think y'all are amazing.
But it's also good to have two different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Because all new moms, before they were new moms, were not
moms. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, and then, we might have different ideas about what it means to be a new mom, and then our experiences just make our whole personalities change. So we can just discuss about that as
Perfect.
well.
And so what we did is we went to Reddit, our team, and we found a few stories from other new moms that have asked some questions. So we're here to answer those questions and to probably judge your partners.
Also, don't forget to follow us.
Of course.
On YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Any platform.
Also Instagram. We have a new Instagram for the podcast where we share short snippets and bloopers and fun facts. And
which is called BTW, Bellabeat Talks Wellness Podcast.
Exactly. So
let's just dive in.
Let's just dive in.
We're diving. All right. Why don't you start us off, Urška?
Wait, I'm not ready. Sorry.
Okay.
Such a new mom moment. All right, so being a new mom isn't what I expected. Relatable. I am a very new mom, 4 weeks, and so far I don't know if I can say I've enjoyed anything other than seeing my husband interact with the baby. During pregnancy, so many people told me the moment I saw my baby I was going to be infatuated and so in love. I feel gypped. It's quite possible I'm experienced postpartum depression, but I feel happy whenever somebody else has the baby. I just really don't want to take care of him. Does anyone else have this? When did it get better?
Girl.
I
think it's normal.
I know how it feels. So when I gave birth to my baby boy, I was just so overwhelmed, and the only thing I could think about for the first couple of days was this overwhelming sense of responsibility. And I had such bad anxiety, so I was alone in the hospital. I was alone in my room. The visitations were only 2 hours per day, so during that time, I had a lot of time to think and spiral. And I was just thinking, what will happen if I'm gone? If something happens to me or my partner, who will take care of that baby? And that was basically the only thing I could think about. And then later, during the first couple of weeks, it got a little bit better, but still I felt just overwhelmed with responsibility and the new routine and everything I had to do for the baby. And obviously I also felt so bad about it because I didn't want primarily my baby to feel the way I'm feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was still taking really good care of my baby, but it was kind of like a robot moment.
Yeah,
I was just going through the motions.
It was almost like you were like this watching yourself do these things, kind of like on TV. Yeah.
And even my mom like comment when she came visit. She was like, you have to talk to the baby. You have to be more emotional with the baby. You're like a robot. And I was like, I cannot help it. I'm just going through the motions. I'm super tired. Yeah. I don't know what I'm feeling right now.
Your body's changed.
It's not just that. It's just, for me, it was this overwhelming sense of anxiety and responsibility. But then, you know, when weeks went by and then months, now I'm 8 months postpartum, it does get better. And you do kind of get rid of all of those dark thoughts and emotions. And you just, I don't know, I think like most people, it's natural. You cannot help it. You fall in love with your baby. And I swear, for most women, it goes away.
Yeah. And that's it. And so don't feel bad. Like you just went through something. I mean, I would call childbirth traumatic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's traumatic experience.
And, you know, whenever it comes to like, that's your child and like maybe you feel a disconnection from them, you know, whenever they're just a few weeks old, I think that's, and from what I've read and from what I've heard, that's totally normal. Sometimes it takes time for you to connect with your baby. And that's A-okay. Like, do not feel bad about that. You know, not everybody has the same journey. Not everybody has the same, you know, steps as they walk into motherhood.
Don't build up on your guilt. Because it's just going to make it worse. Just, you know, let it go and do one day at a time. And I actually have a similar comment. Is it possible to be a new mom and not be obsessed with your child? Of course.
Completely opposite spectrum here. Okay.
No, so it's the same.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it relates to, it's kind of similar to what the other woman is experiencing. So, of course, I expect this to be a totally new kind of love combined with overwhelming emotions and concern for the child's well-being. But after watching some of my friends lose portions of rational thinking, it's got me wondering if this is going to happen to all of us.
Oh.
Probably. Many of them seem to have developed a downright obsession with their kids. It's like a baby vacuum. I wonder if it's just hormones. Is it just how it's going to be? Or is it possible to have a healthy and loving relationship with your kid where in your life, everything you do, every interaction and every conversation doesn't revolve around them? So I believe that this is also somebody that is just recently postpartum because again, I was the same. Before I had a baby, I was like, my personality is not going to change. I felt that women who change after getting birth and all their personality because being a mom are, you know, weird. And it's like, I felt like I will never be like that. But I think it's just so hard to avoid because as months go by, you fall in love with your baby. And that baby takes control of your whole life. Your whole life starts to revolve around that baby. And they're so goddamn cute. It's so hard to not be obsessed with them. It's so hard not to be obsessed with them. And it's so hard not to be the person that overshares everything about their baby, that shows baby pictures to other people, because just, this is now your life and this is everything in your life.
But it's not just, I mean, it's your life, it's 24/7. Like, it is your life.
Exactly. And I know that objectively my baby is the best and most amazing and most beautiful.
Absolutely. He never cries.
But now I also think subjectively. So it's just hard to not overshare and be obsessed. And obviously it's also hormones, but it's also that you are attached with that baby at your hip. So 24/7, and they're that little tyrant that controls your life.
Yeah, just lean into it.
Yeah, you get a little bit of Stockholm syndrome as well. So the combination of things. So I think, when you get the baby, a lot of women struggle with the change in their identity and situation, and this little human they have to take care of, and the sense of responsibility and anxiety. But I swear things do get better, and I see most women experience similar situations. Things do get better, and then you grow obsessed with your baby, you grow in love with your baby. But also you lean
more into your new identity.
Exactly.
And I think there's nothing wrong with having a mom identity. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. If you have it, great. If you don't have it, great. Like, I have no qualms, but I have no qualms with women who like really lean into like, I am a mom.
Exactly.
Like,
you get this urge to change your Instagram bio to
New mom,
co-founder, wife, mom.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
But I think that's okay.
I haven't gone so far.
Not yet. We're waiting for the second one to see what happens.
But you get that urge. I swear, you get that urge. So it does get better. But if it does not get better, then obviously you have to consider having postpartum depression, even though if you don't feel sad or if you're not,
But if you feel disconnected.
If you feel disconnected, if you
it
feel
could be a symptom.
overwhelmed, anxious, those are also symptoms of depression. So it would be good to then talk to a professional
provider,
and don't postpone that. Do it as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And know that it is normal. Many people experience that.
For men and women, actually.
Yeah, men and women.
Sorry, women and women and men. So it's not just moms that get postnatal depression.
But fathers can get it
fathers
too.
as well. Because especially for them, it's harder to create a relationship with the baby. They haven't given birth to the baby. So
it's a completely different relationship.
Exactly. You've known that baby basically for 9 months while it was in your belly. But for them, it's the first time meeting them when the baby is born.
Yeah.
So I saw this with my partner when he came to the hospital. Like, he did not know even what to expect, how a newborn looks like, how it feels like. So it was
how it feels like.
That's true. Because like how tiny it is. How incapable of doing anything on its own is. He was so surprised. I mean, men are so clueless. He thought that a couple of weeks after the baby came, he would be able to put them on put him on the floor and like have him play on the floor while he works out. Things like that. And so many times when waiters would when our baby was about 3 or 4 months, we started to go out more. We had dinners, and every time when it was male waiter, they were like, so do you need an extra chair for the baby, or do you need an extra plate for the baby? Like, we are eating scampi. Like, the baby's not gonna 3 months.
Eating
like,
shrimp.
He's just lying there. Like, the baby's just lying there, unable
Men just
to
don't
move
get it.
or do anything. I was like, how is he gonna sit on his own? How is he gonna eat?
Well, at least he didn't offer him like crayons and a color page or something,
They're so clueless.
Absolutely. I have one, and this one hits close to home because my best friend just experienced this. Vacations are depressing as a new mom. Whew. First family vacation since having our son in March, so he's 4 months old, exclusively breastfed. My family is out at the dock, enjoying themselves and having fun, and as much as I'd love to be able to join too, I'm feeding my baby and putting him to bed. If I don't sleep as soon as he does, I won't get much at all. Plus, the monitor doesn't reach all the way down to where I am, and I feel like a constant onlooker. 4-month-old, of course, and it's been the theme this whole time. Kind of makes me wish I didn't come. Motherhood can be really isolating. I will say, though, there have been some positives, like my family holding the baby while I eat. But my best friend went on vacation with her family, and both of her siblings have kids, but grandparents were taking care of the kids during this time, but she had a newborn. And so she couldn't like leave it with the grandparents or anybody.
Obviously.
And so she went to the lake house with her family. They're all out on the boat. They're grilling. They're drinking. They're just live, laugh, loving. And she is just with the baby the whole time. But she messaged me and she was like, not once has my family stepped up to try to help me. Not once did they like try to just say, hey, we want to, kind of help you. And I think the thing is like, because, she's with people who are also parents, they want to enjoy the vacation of not having kids, but so I understand that, but also, this is your family member. This is somebody like, help her, let her enjoy the vacation too. Like spending 10 minutes or 30 minutes just holding the baby while she takes a nap. Like that's not going to ruin your vacation.
For sure. But I think also from my experience, other members of the family need invitation to hold the baby. Because from my experience, our grandparents, so basically my parents or my partner's parents, were kind of afraid of the baby, especially in this newborn stage, because they're so fragile and it's not their baby. They've had their own babies, but a long time ago. So I see that people kind of forget about how it is about having a baby. And also a lot of women, I mean, I know I was in this mama bear mode where I was like, get away, like I'm gonna do everything myself, like don't touch my baby and everything. So
that's so hard though.
So I kind of had to make it okay for them to ask for the baby or just straight out ask for help. So I was like, could you please hold my baby while I want to, wash my hair or while I take a nap? And I had similar experience. We were also on holidays with a newborn, 3 months, 4 months. And this is a problem also, especially with breastfed babies, because nobody else can breastfeed but you. And breastfeeding is every 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So basically, you're glued to the baby 24/7, and in that stage, unfortunately, you cannot get as much help as you would want. But I swear it gets better. Even now, my baby is 8 months old, so now he also eats solids.
Yeah.
I've started to supplement with formula because it's just I'm starting not to have enough milk, but also it became physically overwhelming to feed my baby so much because he's been growing so quickly that I was breastfeeding all the time. All the time.
And his little teeth started coming in as well.
And so, now he has also teeth. So now that he, has these other sources of food and other people can feed him, my partner can feed him, grandparents can feed him, it became so much easier.
Yeah.
Just like right now, his grandparents are watching him while I'm doing this podcast. Yeah. So I got this 4 hours of the day for myself.
And you're able to because you're not breastfeeding. And so it does get better. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but understand that, it's hard.
It's just the first couple of months.
Yeah.
So just be patient. There's no workaround. So be patient and also communicate. Ask for help.
I know my best friend does not know how to ask for help, and so I know she was struggling, and she was. Yeah.
And if you want help, allow people to help you. You have to kind of let go of that anxiety. Especially, I had to let go of that anxiety. I was like, no, I'm not leaving my baby with anyone.
Yeah.
But now, when it became just too much, I'm like, no, I have to
take my baby.
I also have to. No, it's not like that. But I have to get used to the idea that I cannot be with the baby 24/7. I have to have somebody else also watching.
Healthy. That's healthy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. So you're so healthy. Love that. What you got?
Which one did I want to get? I forgot. Social media. Why is social media so vile when it comes to the way people parent? Why is it vile about anything and everything?
That's true. Yeah.
I know I'm not a bad mom. I'm doing the best I can, as are millions of other moms all around the world. But seeing harsh comments on Instagram about parenting choices makes me question if I'm doing this right. According to the internet, you're doing it all wrong. Part of me wants to distance myself from anything related to parenting because I'm tired of feeling like everything I do is wrong.
Oof. Yeah.
So just distance yourself from everything and anything on social media because in my experience, there is some valuable content that you can get from social media, but most of it is just junk.
And it's mom shaming. A lot of it is
junk
just mom shaming.
And just mom shaming, arguments. People have different perspective on parenting, and that's fine. I think we also all come from different cultures, and that also influences our parenting styles. We also have different lifestyles, and that influences our parenting. And then also a really important thing is our child's character, temperament also influences our parenting style.
Absolutely.
So when you take all of these things in account, you cannot parent the same way.
There's no perfect way to parent.
Exactly. There's no perfect way to parent. And you're going to probably mess up your kid anyways.
Let's just be real.
Let's just be real. Or at least they're going to blame you.
You're welcome for the trauma. There you go.
No, just kidding. We're all doing our best. And I think it's just what I like to do is come back to common sense and this inner feeling of how you want to raise your child, how you would feel, how you feel, or what you wish your parents did when you were little, and give that to your child.
Absolutely, yeah.
And just not
stay away from social media.
Not overcomplicate, because I see with this modern parenting, it's just people are so overcomplicating and so overthinking everything.
Everything.
I mean, we have been raising children for since the beginning of humanity.
Yeah, humanity. That's a good one.
So I think we are totally capable of trusting our instincts and just, kind of develop as parents as we go. Obviously some ground rules, like don't be violent, don't be like,
of course,
just kind of get that sorted, get yourself sorted before having a child. ideally.
Yeah.
Emotionally and physically. But after that,
just parent the way you feel the best. Yeah.
Exactly.
And just, fuck social media. Let's be real. And, I say this, but we're going to put this on social media.
but we're not going to mom shame.
No, because these people, they don't know you. They don't know, like, your struggles. They don't know your kid. They don't know anything. And so anything they say, take with a grain of salt, just because not everything, and I'm going to smack this into y'all's, like, heads. Not everything we see on social media is real. Not all of this advice that we're giving, is actually, like, do you think that I'm, like, eating great and working out every day? Absolutely not. Like, does my social media say I am? Sometimes. But, like, social media is not real. And people on social media are there for their own reasons. And so just take everything with a grain of salt. Like, just, don't be ashamed of anything, unless it's something shameful, of course. But
it's not just, like, intentional shaming. I think also often people should try to refrain themselves from trying to give helpful advice, because even helpful and good intended advice can be shameful to a lot of women, like especially when it comes to what women are eating during breastfeeding or breastfeeding versus
it's
formula
stressful enough,
or sleeping patterns. It's stressful enough. And trust me, women anyways read so much stuff on having babies, on parenting before they have a baby, while they're having babies. So some randos commenting on their posts or whatever is not, gonna change their mindset.
If dads aren't being shamed, then moms shouldn't be shamed. That's all I gotta say about that.
Exactly.
I have one for moms that are back to work, and so this one's gonna hit close to home for you. As a mom returning to work, how do you manage anxiety about leaving your child with your spouse, grandparents, caregiver? I'm in my 3rd week back after 6 months of maternity leave, and my husband is now on paternity leave. While he's great with our little one, I still have a list of anxieties, along with the typical mom guilt. I thought it would improve with time, but I'm still struggling. It gets a bit easier towards the end of the week, knowing I'll have the weekend with my little one. And typically rational, but I'm finding it hard to override the emotions this time. Any tips would be appreciated.
Yeah, that one hit home because it was just this Saturday, so a couple of days ago, that it was the first time that I left my baby with a family member that is not my partner.
Oh, wow.
I left him with my sister for 3 hours.
You left him with your sister?
Yeah.
Ooh.
My sister, my baby sister, who's, by the way, 21 years old. But she's a med student.
She is a med student, though.
So I checked. She has baby CPR training. So she's certified to take care of a child. But it was super hard. But I wanted to go see a ballet with my mom.
Nice.
So, and it was also like a little test for us. It was just 3 hours. She did great. She was amazing, by the way.
So
she
how did you
everything right, and they had such a blast. They had such a good time.
But what would your tip be, like, whenever you were letting go and shutting that door?
I was watching ballet, and I was like sitting like this with my phone, and I was like that person in the theater, like constantly like checking their phone, which was obnoxious. But I was just like, if she would call, I would have to like immediately get up and answer. But like, I don't know, it just became easier as minutes went by. Obviously, it helped that I was watching something that I was interested in, and it was relaxing. And at the end of the night, it was such a beautiful experience. I recharged, I relaxed. It was beautiful. When I got home, I saw that they were having a great time. Everything was fine. And then today, actually, also he's staying for the first time with his grandparents.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My partner's parents. And again, I've checked, they're having a great time. Everything is great.
Everything's fine.
This is the first week we're doing this.
So have trust, but also,
trust.
I was going to say, it's healthy to socialize babies. It's healthy to have them with other people.
And have them detach a little bit from you. So you also get that, regain your space. They create their own kind of personality with other people. And what is so interesting, I've noticed is that he's developing different techniques of falling asleep with each different person he stays with. So he has one technique of falling asleep with me, one with my partner. He did something different with my sister,
Oh,
and
wow.
now he's doing something different with his grandparents. So it's so interesting.
And that's cool. That's cool.
That's super cool. So also another thing that we're doing with my partner is actually now we're switching. So I've done almost 8 months of maternity leave, and now we're switching. So he's gonna do the remaining for
Paternity leave.
paternity leave basically with
That's
the
cool.
baby. So he's gonna stay home with the baby.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that because
Yeah.
it also gives him a chance to develop the same relationship that I have with the. I mean, not exactly the same, but often fathers don't get an opportunity to develop as close relationship with their children as mom do because they have,
Especially when they're babies.
in a lot of countries, they don't have paternity leaves at all.
Looking at you, America.
I mean,
Not to single you
where
out.
even women don't get maternity leave, so that's even worse.
Yeah, even worse, yeah.
Unfortunately, in a lot of
lot of
countries, men
places.
don't get opportunity to
Yeah.
take paternity leave, or it's not as socially acceptable to do so. And then we have Scandinavia, for example, where it's completely normal to share
For both.
paternity
Yeah.
leave 50-50.
Yeah.
So there you have, dads walking around with strollers, and they have amazing relationships with their children, and I think it's just so much healthier for
But it's healthier for the
society as a
child.
whole.
Yeah. And
Not
like,
just the child, the society,
Yeah.
because those children then grow up to be healthy
That's true.
adults with healthy
Absolutely.
relationships with their children.
So basically, like the tips would be, I would say to try to turn your viewpoint and look at it as a way for your child to develop in their own space, as a
Exactly.
way for you to develop and to recharge, and also as a way for what were you saying? It doesn't matter, but just look at it, But also, for your child, for other people to develop that relationship with the baby,
which is super valuable as well, because
exactly.
that's his safety net.
Yeah,
Their safety net, the
exactly.
baby's safety net. I
Exactly.
mean, you are their primary caregiver, but the wider his relationships are with other people in your family or close
Friends
circles,
or close circles,
the better it is for
Exactly.
them, for the child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Aw.
All right.
What you got?
Which one did I want to read? Bedtimes.
Ooh, okay.
Parent bedtimes. How has it changed?
Oh,
It just ceased to exist.
we'll answer that one immediately.
It's just like no sleep at all. Before my son arrived, I used to sleep around 11, 12 p.m.
I thought they were going to say hours a day.
Yeah, me too. So they fell asleep around
11 p.m., okay.
Yeah, went to bed, and wake up at 6:30 a.m. for work. Now that my son is 5 months old, my bedtime has shifted. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm usually in bed by 9:30 and asleep by 10. He's typically asleep by 8, but occasionally wakes up a couple of times a week. Couple of times a night probably. I also wake up multiple times during the night. I get up at 6:30 for my son's first feed and nappy change. My wife, who's always been that's a male perspective.
Wow, okay.
My wife, who's always been more of a night owl, often stays up until after midnight and sometimes even 3 a.m. She then wakes up at around 8, 9 when I leave for work. During the newborn phase, he used to stay up until midnight, then sleep with a few feeds until 10 a.m. Our bedtime shifted to around a.m. There's no question here, so it's just like describing the situation.
Okay. But how did you handle the, time shifts and stuff? I mean, you have your circadian rhythm going, and sleep is very important. We learned that with Dr. Smita Patel.
But I think what most women learn postpartum is that we could go months and years without sleep, actually. So experts are wrong.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
Experts are wrong.
I mean, I'm still alive, walking, so what could go wrong?
Prime example. There we go.
No,
she's not irrational. She's not, yelling at people regularly.
Right now.
Delusional. Living in Delulu.
So what was I saying?
See, you don't need sleep.
Yes,
how it
sleep
shifts.
patterns definitely change. So especially if your baby is breastfed, they're gonna wake up during the night every 2 to 3 hours to start with, and then those periods might become longer, and then they end up waking up for 1 to 2 times per night. If you are my son, he wakes up 4 to 5 times per month per night still, even at 8 months old. But I think,
but it sounds like they have a good schedule going.
They have a good schedule going, and what I found out that helps me the most is that that I should try to get to bed as soon as he falls asleep as well. So the problem is not just your night routine changing, but also your evening routine. So you don't really get downtime at all. You don't get time to F around.
Yeah.
You just have to get down to bed, down to business, and try to get some hours of sleep in before the first feed.
I don't know if you're watching this and you just see my face. I'm just like,
I know, we were just talking about that with my partner, and we came to the conclusion that the biggest change in our lifestyle is that now we have no time to waste. There's no time to waste. You just have to continue doing stuff, because everything in between is filled with the baby
wasting
stuff.
time.
No wasting time. No,
that's
Netflix,
my middle name. Melanie wasting
nothing.
time. Messina.
No, nothing. And then what helps me the most is because my son wakes up so many times during the night. So he's 8 months old, and he still wakes up at least 3 to 4 times for feeding. Wow. What helps is I give him a bottle, a formula to add to the breastfeeding meal in the evening. So I try to kind of prolong that first period. And now because he's gotten so much bigger, and he started to cluster feed, and I've realized that I don't have enough milk to satisfy him. I started to add another bottle in the middle of the night.
Okay.
So no guilt there. If you need to add formula, because your sleep is more precious. Because
I was a formula baby.
You need to keep sane. And your baby, as long as they're fed, you're doing
good enough.
A good
it's
job.
Good.
It's good
You're
enough.
doing great.
I got over that guilt really early on, because I basically started to add formula in the evening the first week.
Because it helps. I mean, it helps. It helps. It lasts longer.
It was because I started on, I'm just going to breastfeed and everything. And then I realized I'm so tired.
Yeah.
That doesn't help my milk supply. It's just getting worse.
There you go.
And the nurses, anyways, right when I gave birth, were like, add formula, it's fine, especially in the evening if you need to sleep longer for the first stretch. Just do it. It's gonna help baby keep full for longer.
That's great advice.
Exactly. And then second thing, so I try to take over the night shift completely. I try to not disturb my partner, so that at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. when my baby wakes up for good, he is able to get up, and then take him, and then I get another stretch in the morning. So then I get another 2 or 2.5 hours just undisturbed sleep in the morning.
That's nice. That's nice. If you have a partner
formula
and you're able to,
and partner support.
Support is big.
I mean, so my partner has been away for the last week, and I just wanted to say that
How dare him?
No, I just my partner is incredible. I get so much support from him. He's an amazing partner, an amazing father.
But how dare him?
Emotional? No, but I wanted to say I cannot emphasize how much I admire single parents, especially single mothers, because I do not know how they do it.
That's true.
It is so hard. It is brutal.
I had a single mom
Being
too.
alone with a baby is brutal.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect for single parents, especially single moms. I grew up with a single mom. I was not easy, and it's just not easy. But it's a whole different kind of strength to have not have that partner support. But kudos for doing it, and mad respect and mad props to you guys, because that's incredible. That's a superpower if I've ever seen one.
Exactly. It's inhuman.
Yeah, but hey, it's women. That's what we that's what we
especially
do.
in modern times where there's no village.
Yeah.
You are alone.
Yeah.
Completely alone.
Yeah. But you're not completely alone. If you ever want to reach out to comment or reach out to us, if you're feeling really, just the world is on top of your shoulders and you have no one to talk to, please feel free to write comments, send us messages on our Instagram. We will reply.
Yeah. We also have a great community on our Facebook.
Absolutely. Oh, yep. Bellabeat Coach.
Bellabeat Club.
Bellabeat Club. Sorry. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Just trying to plug in, my...
So Facebook group, Bellabeat Club, amazing community of women. So if you need support, talk to
amazing.
other women, just,
join that group and let it out.
Join the conversation.
Yeah. And on that note, we want to thank you guys so much for listening or watching, whichever.
Don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, watch us on YouTube.
Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube.
And our new Instagram account.
Yep. Bellabeat Talks Wellness podcast.
All right. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.